Stop scrolling. Right now, in this exact moment, you're reading these words for a reason. Not by accident, not by algorithm, but because something deeper is at work. Carl Jung called it synchronicity, the universe's way of sending you a message. And if you're seeing this, the message is clear. You've been chosen to receive everything you've been asking for. I know that sounds bold, maybe even impossible. But stay with me for the next hour, because what I'm about to share with you will fundamentally change how you see yourself, your struggles, and your destiny. I've studied the depth psychology of Carl Jung, one of the most brilliant minds in human history. And what I've discovered is that Jung didn't just understand the human psyche. He understood the invisible threads that connect us to the universe itself. Today, you're going to learn why you're experiencing certain patterns in your life, why specific numbers keep appearing, why you keep thinking about certain people right before they contact you, and most importantly, how to align yourself with the cosmic flow that wants to deliver everything you've been manifesting. So take a deep breath. Turn off your distractions, because the next minutes aren't just another video. They're the beginning of your transformation. Part 1. The concept of synchronicity. Let's start with a story. A true story that happened to Carl Jung himself, the moment that would change psychology forever. In the 1920s, Jung was treating a young woman who was extremely rational, overly intellectual, and completely stuck in her healing process. Nothing was working. One day she was telling Jung about a dream she'd had the night before, a dream about a golden scarab beetle, an ancient Egyptian symbol of rebirth. At that exact moment, and I mean the exact moment she was describing this dream, Jung heard a tapping at the window. He opened it, and a flying insect came into the room. It was a scarabid beetle, the closest thing to a golden scarab that exists in Switzerland. The odds of this happening? Astronomical. Jung caught the beetle and handed it to the woman, saying, "Here is your scarab." That moment shattered her rational defenses. She broke down, had a breakthrough, and her healing accelerated dramatically. This wasn't coincidence. This was synchronicity, a meaningful coincidence that defies logical explanation, but carries profound significance. Jung defined synchronicity as the simultaneous occurrence of two events that are meaningfully related but not causally connected. In other words, when something happens in your outer world that perfectly mirrors something happening in your inner world, and there's no logical explanation for it. Think about your own life. Have you ever thought about someone you hadn't spoken to in years, and they texted you minutes later? Kept seeing the same number sequence everywhere. 1111, 222, 333? Had a dream that predicted something that actually happened? Felt drawn to take a different route home, only to discover you avoided an accident? Met someone at the exact moment you needed them most? These aren't random. According to Jung, these are messages from the collective unconscious, the universal intelligence that connects all of humanity. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. This sounds like mystical nonsense, but here's where Jung was truly revolutionary. He tried to bridge science and spirituality. Jung collaborated with physicist Wolfgang Pauli, one of the pioneers of quantum mechanics. Together, they explored how consciousness might interact with matter at the quantum level. Pauli proposed that synchronicity might be explained through quantum entanglement, the phenomenon where two particles remain connected regardless of distance. What if your consciousness is entangled with the universe itself? What if your thoughts, emotions, and intentions create ripples in the fabric of reality that then circle back to you as synchronistic events? Modern neuroscience is beginning to catch up. Studies on the reticular activating system, the part of your brain that filters information, show that when you focus on something intensely, your brain starts noticing it everywhere. But Jung would argue it's not just your brain filtering differently. It's reality responding to your inner state. So why does this matter to you right now? Because if synchronicity is real, and I'm going to show you overwhelming evidence that it is, then it means the universe is constantly communicating with you. Every coincidence is actually a cosmic breadcrumb leading you toward your highest destiny. And if you're watching this video, it means you're at a pivotal moment. The universe has sent you here because you're ready for the next level of your evolution. Part 2. The shadow facing your dark side. Before you can receive everything the universe has for you, you must first face the part of yourself you've been hiding. Jung called this the shadow. The shadow is everything about yourself that you've rejected, repressed, or denied. It's the anger you pretend you don't feel, the jealousy you won't admit, the selfishness you disguise as selflessness, the darkness you've pushed deep down because society told you it wasn't acceptable. Jung himself underwent a psychological breakdown in his mid-30s, what he called his confrontation with the unconscious. For years, he deliberately explored his own darkness. He had terrifying visions, conversations with inner figures, and experienced what many would call madness. But Jung emerged from this dark night of the soul with profound wisdom. He realized that we don't become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. Here's the paradox that changes everything. The things you hate most in other people are reflections of your own shadow. The traits that trigger you most intensely are the traits you've buried in yourself. Let's do a quick exercise. I want you to think of someone who really irritates you. Got someone in mind? Good. Now, what specific trait bothers you about them? Are they arrogant, needy, controlling, victim-minded, fake, selfish? Here's the uncomfortable truth. That trait exists in you too. Maybe not as obviously. Maybe not in the same way. But it's there, hidden in your shadow. And until you acknowledge it, it will control you. When you refuse to integrate your shadow, here's what happens. First, you project it onto others. You see your own darkness in everyone around you, which creates toxic relationships and constant conflict. Second, you attract situations that force you to confront it. The universe will keep sending you the same lesson through different people until you learn it. Third, you become inauthentic. You're so busy performing the good version of yourself that you lose touch with your true nature. And fourth, and this is crucial, you block abundance. Because the energy you use to repress your shadow is energy that could be used to create, manifest, and thrive. But here's the beautiful secret Jung discovered. Your shadow doesn't just contain your darkness, it contains your power. Think about it. When you repress your anger, you also lose access to your boundaries and assertiveness. When you deny your selfishness, you lose the ability to prioritize your own needs. When you hide your sexuality, you lose your creative life force. The gold is in the shadow. Your greatest gifts are hidden in the parts of yourself you've been ashamed of. So how do you integrate your shadow? Jung gave us a roadmap. Step 1. Awareness. Start noticing your triggers. Who makes you angry? What behaviors disgust you? Write them down. This is your shadow showing itself. Step 2. Ownership. Ask yourself, where does this trait exist in me? Be brutally honest. You might not do it the same way, but the energy is there. Step 3. Dialogue. Jung recommended active imagination, actually having conversations with your shadow. Sounds crazy, but it works. Ask your shadow what it wants. What need is it trying to meet? Step 4. Expression. Find healthy ways to express these repressed parts. If you've repressed anger, try kickboxing or screaming into a pillow. If you've hidden your sensuality, dance alone in your room. Step 5. Integration. Eventually, the goal is wholeness. Not getting rid of your shadow, but integrating it. Becoming someone who can be both light and dark. Gentle and fierce, selfless and self-honoring. If you're watching this video, you're ready for shadow work. The universe doesn't send you lessons you can't handle. The fact that you're here means you're strong enough to face your darkness and transform it into light. And when you do, everything changes. Because the person on the other side of shadow integration is magnetic, authentic, powerful, and fully alive. That person attracts abundance effortlessly because they're no longer wasting energy hiding who they are. Part 3. Individuation, becoming who you were meant to be. Jung believed that the ultimate goal of human life is individuation, becoming your true, authentic, whole self. Not the self your parents wanted you to be, not the self society expects, but the self you were always meant to become. And here's why you're seeing this video. You're being called to individuate right now. In this season of your life, individuation usually begins with what Jung called the call to adventure, a disruption to your normal life. Maybe it's a breakup that shattered your identity, a job loss that forced you to question everything, a health crisis that made you reevaluate priorities, a pandemic that paused the world, or simply a persistent feeling that says there has to be more than this. If you've experienced any of these, congratulations. You're not broken. You're being initiated. Joseph Campbell studied myths from around the world and found they all follow the same pattern: the hero's journey. Jung realized that this journey isn't just in stories. It's the psychological blueprint for individuation. Let's walk through the stages, because I guarantee you're in one of them right now. Stage 1. The ordinary world. This is your life before the awakening. You're following the script, going through the motions, numb but functional. Stage 2. The call to adventure. Something disrupts your ordinary world. A crisis, a synchronicity, a deep longing. You sense there's something more. Stage 3. Refusal of the call. At first you resist. It's too scary, too uncertain. You try to go back to normal, but you can't. The call persists. Stage 4. Meeting the mentor. A guide appears, a person, a book, a teaching, or a video like this. Something shows you the way forward. Stage 5. Crossing the threshold. You make a commitment. You quit the job, end the relationship, start therapy, begin the inner work. There's no going back. Stage 6. Tests, allies, and enemies. You face challenges that test your resolve. You discover who supports your transformation and who doesn't. You confront your shadow. Stage 7. The ordeal, death, and rebirth. This is the dark night of the soul. Everything you thought you were dies. It's excruciating, but necessary. Stage 8. The reward. You emerge with a treasure: wisdom, wholeness, authenticity, power. You're not the same person who started the journey. Stage 9. The road back. You return to ordinary life, but transformed. You must integrate your new self into the real world. Stage 10. Resurrection. One final test proves that your transformation is real. You face your old demons with your new power. Stage 11. Return with the elixir. You become the mentor for others. Your transformation isn't just for you, it's medicine for the collective. Pause for a moment and ask yourself, which stage am I in? Wherever you are, know this: the journey isn't linear. You'll cycle through these stages multiple times in different areas of life. Each cycle brings you closer to your authentic self. As you individuate, you'll meet various aspects of yourself that Jung called archetypes universal, patterns of being that exist in all of us. The major archetypes include the persona, the mask you wear for society, necessary but dangerous if you believe it's your true self. The shadow. We already covered this: your repressed darkness and hidden power. The anima animus. For men, the anima is the feminine within. For women, the animus is the masculine within. Integrating this brings balance. The self, the unified, whole version of you, the goal of individuation. This is who you truly are beneath all the conditioning. You'll also encounter archetypes like the warrior, your courage and discipline; the lover, your passion and connection; the magician, your wisdom and transformation; the sovereign, your leadership and responsibility; the innocent, your wonder and trust; the sage, your knowledge and detachment; the rebel, your freedom and authenticity. These aren't separate from you, they are you. Individuation means integrating all of them, accessing each when needed, and not being dominated by any single archetype. How do you know if you're individuating? Here are the signs. 1. You feel less need for external validation. 2. You can hold paradoxes being both this and that. 3. You withdraw from toxic relationships without guilt. 4. You feel pulled toward solitude and introspection. 5. Your dreams become more vivid and meaningful. 6. You experience more synchronicities. 7. Old interests fall away and new ones emerge. 8. You care less about status and more about authenticity. 9. You feel both stronger and more vulnerable. 10. You sense a deeper purpose emerging. Here's the connection to receiving everything. The universe can only give you what you're aligned to receive. And you can only be aligned when you're becoming your authentic self. When you're living as a false persona, trying to be what others want, you're broadcasting a confused signal to the universe. It's like ordering from a menu in 10 different languages simultaneously. But when you individuate, when you become truly yourself, your signal becomes clear, strong, and magnetic. The right people, opportunities, and resources find you effortlessly because you're finally being who you were meant to be. Part 4. The collective unconscious. You're not alone. Now we come to Jung's most profound and controversial idea, the collective unconscious. Jung proposed that beneath your personal unconscious, your individual memories, traumas, and experiences, there exists a deeper layer shared by all of humanity. A cosmic database of archetypes, symbols, myths, and wisdom that you were born connected to. Think about this. Why do cultures that never contacted each other develop similar myths? Why does the hero's journey appear in stories from ancient Greece, indigenous Australia, medieval Japan, and modern Hollywood? Why do certain symbols, the circle, the cross, the spiral, the tree, appear in religions and art across every continent and time period? Why can you show someone from a remote tribe a picture of a snake, and they'll feel fear, even if they've never seen a snake before? Jung's answer: these patterns don't need to be taught because they're already inside us. We're born with them. They're inherited not through our genes, but through our connection to the collective unconscious. This changes everything about how you understand yourself. You're not just an isolated individual trying to figure out life on your own. You're a node in a vast, intelligent network. You have access to the wisdom of every human who ever lived. The heroes, the mystics, the artists, the healers. Their knowledge is available to you through the collective unconscious. This is why sudden insights seem to come from nowhere. Why artists say their work came through them rather than from them. Why inventors often discover the same thing simultaneously in different parts of the world. They're all tapping into the same source, but the collective unconscious doesn't just contain wisdom, it also contains unresolved trauma. Modern epigenetics is proving Jung right. Studies show that trauma can be passed down through generations via genetic markers. Your grandmother's unresolved grief might be living in your body. Your grandfather's war trauma might be affecting your anxiety. Have you ever felt emotions that don't seem to belong to your personal experience? Inexplicable fears, sadness without a clear source, or patterns that run in your family. This is ancestral material calling for healing. And here's the remarkable part. When you do your inner work, you don't just heal yourself. You heal backwards through your lineage and forward into future generations. Jung said, "The greatest tragedy of the family is the unlived lives of the parents." When you individuate, when you become who you were meant to be, you break generational chains and set your entire lineage free. So how do you consciously access this cosmic intelligence? Jung gave us several methods. Method 1. Dream analysis. Your dreams are the main highway between your conscious mind and the collective unconscious. Keep a dream journal. Notice recurring symbols. Don't interpret them, rationally feel into what they mean for you. Method 2. Active imagination. Enter a meditative state and allow images, figures, or scenarios to arise spontaneously. Don't control them, observe and interact. This is how Jung received his deepest insights. Method 3. Artistic expression. Paint, write, dance, or create without your conscious mind directing. Let the unconscious express itself through you. Method 4. Ritual and ceremony. Indigenous cultures have always known how to access the collective, unconscious through ritual. Create your own ceremonies even, simple ones to mark transitions and connect with something larger. Method 5. Nature immersion. The natural world is a direct portal to the unconscious. Spend time in nature without devices, without agendas. Just be. Listen. Method 6. Synchronicity awareness. Pay attention to meaningful coincidences. They're messages from the collective unconscious trying to guide you. If you're watching this video, the collective unconscious is calling you forward. You're not here by accident. You're here because humanity needs you to wake up. We're at a pivotal moment in human history. The old paradigm is collapsing. The new one is being born. And it requires individuals who have done their inner work, integrated their shadows, individuated, and connected to the deeper wisdom of the collective. You have a role to play. The universe chose you, not because you're perfect, but because you're willing to do the work. Part 5. Practical integration, living as your highest self. We've covered a lot of deep psychological and spiritual territory. Now let's make it practical. How do you actually live this wisdom day to day? Start your day by aligning with your authentic self and the universe. Step 1. Before checking your phone, spend 5 minutes in silence. Ask yourself, who am I today? What does my soul need? Step 2. Notice any dreams from the night before, even fragments. Write them down. The unconscious is always speaking. Step 3. Set an intention aligned with your individuation, not your ego. Instead of, I want to make $10,000 today, try, I align with my authentic purpose today. Step 4. Feel the intention in your body. Where does it live? What does it feel like? This embodiment is crucial. Train yourself to notice the universe communicating. When you think of someone and they contact you, acknowledge it. Say aloud or in your mind, I see you, universe. Thank you for this sign. When you see repeating numbers, pause. Ask, what was I just thinking about? What is this confirming? When obstacles arise, instead of fighting, ask, what is this redirecting me toward? What is the hidden gift here? When opportunities appear, even if they're uncomfortable, recognize them as cosmic invitations. Say yes more often. When someone triggers you, notice the emotion immediately. Take 3 deep breaths. Ask, where is this in me? Thank the person, silently, for showing you your shadow. Commit to examining this trigger later in your journal. Before sleep, integrate your day. Step 1. Journal 3 moments of synchronicity or meaning from today, even small ones. Step 2. Acknowledge where you met your shadow today. What did it show you? Step 3. Ask your unconscious for guidance. Show me in my dreams what I need to know. Step 4. Express gratitude for your individuation journey, even the difficult parts. Designate a physical space for your inner work. It can be a corner of a room, a meditation cushion, a desk. Include items with personal meaning symbols, images, objects that represent your journey. This becomes a portal between your conscious life and the unconscious realm. Spend time here daily, even just 5 minutes. Jung warned against both extremes. Too much solitude and you become disconnected from reality. Too much socializing and you lose touch with your authentic self. Find your rhythm. Introverts might need 70% alone, 30% social. Extroverts might need the reverse. Honor your unique needs without guilt. There will be days when all of this seems like nonsense, when you wonder if you're just making it all up. This is normal. It's your rational mind trying to regain control. In these moments, don't argue with the doubt. Acknowledge it. I see you, rational mind. Thank you for trying to protect me. Return to direct experience. What do I actually feel? What do I actually know? Remember your synchronicities, right? Them down so you have evidence during doubt periods. Here's what Jung wants you to understand. This isn't about reaching some final destination of enlightenment. Individuation is a lifelong process. You'll never arrive. You'll always be becoming. And that's the beauty of it. Each day you choose, will I live authentically or wear a mask? Will I face my shadow or project it? Will I listen to the universe or ignore its signs? Will I honor my true self or live someone else's life? These choices compound. Make them consistently, and 5 years from now, you'll be unrecognizable. You'll have become who you were always meant to be. We're coming to the end of our time together. But really, this is just your beginning. Let's return to where we started. You're seeing this because the universe chose you. Not everyone is ready for this message. Most people will live their entire lives without questioning the persona they've been given. They'll project their shadow onto others until they die. They'll ignore every synchronistic sign the universe sends. They'll never individuate, but not you. You were chosen because you have a divine assignment. There's something you came here to do, a contribution only you can make, a unique expression of consciousness that the universe needs from you specifically. You don't have to know what it is yet. That's revealed through the individuation process. Your job isn't to figure it out, it's to become yourself so fully that your purpose emerges naturally. As we close, I want to leave you with 3 truths. Truth 1. Everything you've experienced, every trauma, every joy, every seeming coincidence has been preparing you for this moment. Nothing was wasted. Truth 2. The universe is not punishing you. It's sculpting you. Every challenge is an invitation to become more whole. Truth 3. You already have everything you need within you. You're not broken. You're not behind. You're exactly where you need to be. So here's what I want you to do. First, leave a comment below sharing one synchronicity you've experienced recently. Let's create a collective record of the universe at work. Your story might be the sign someone else needs. Second, subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell. This is just the beginning of our journey together. I'll be creating more content on Jung, depth psychology, and spiritual awakening. Third, and most important, make one commitment right now. Just one thing you'll do differently based on what you learned today. Will you start a dream journal? Will you spend 5 minutes in silence each morning? Will you examine your next trigger through the lens of shadow work? Write it down. Say it out loud. Make it real. Carl Jung spent his entire life trying to help people wake up to who they really are. He died in 1961, but his message is more relevant today than ever. You're not just a random collection of thoughts and experiences stumbling through life. You're a unique expression of universal consciousness, connected to everything and everyone through the collective unconscious, guided by synchronicities, called to individuate, and destined to become who you were always meant to be. The universe chose you, not because you're perfect, but because you're willing. So go, do your shadow work. Follow the synchronicities. Walk your hero's journey. Become yourself. And remember, I see you. The universe sees you. And you are exactly where you need to be. Thank you for being here. Thank you for doing this work. Thank you for becoming who you truly are. Until next time, stay awake, stay authentic, and trust the journey.